Hi, everybody. Welcome to For the Republic. My name's Brett, and today we're going to talk about Judge Brett Kavanaugh, who has a great name, by the way. Also, we're going to talk about the big news that broke today about Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. I was at work in my office this morning, and very seldom do I see things on Twitter that just make me so happy. I saw something on Twitter that just really got me excited about justice and about things that are done in the darkness coming to light. It was reported by Axios News that Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein had verbally stepped down with Chief of Staff John Kelly. It spoke to John Kelly, and that according to the article, he had felt like he was going to be fired by President Trump because of the New York Times post with a New York Times story that broke last week that he had wanted to get cabinet members to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove Donald Trump, that he had even mentioned in the Department of Justice, and Rod Rosenstein says in a joking way, which I don't think it's possible to do if you're Deputy Attorney General, to say that, hey, in a joking way, I'm going to wiretap myself and put wires on me and go into the White House and have a conversation with the President of the United States. To me, that's a treasonous act. And this whole thing is stunk to what I consider critical thinking Americans. Everything is connected. It's too much of a coincidence for all these people to be connected. And thank God, many of them have been ousted from public service. And people like Andrew McCabe are now under the eye of justice and potentially going to be indicted for acts that they've committed against our country. So I saw this article this morning, and I started calling people. I didn't want to tweet. I started making phone calls. I called my dad, called my wife, called a few friends and said, Rosenstein's out. That, he knows that Trump knows what he's done, that he's been a part of this soft coup to undermine the president, to make Donald Trump look bad, to slander him, to do everything. They've been doing everything they can to make President Trump look bad. And through all the attacks, something that's truly astounding to me, through all these attacks, through everything they've thrown at him, through all I think it's under instruction of, the Barack Obama White House and Hillary Clinton. I think she's still heavily involved in what's going on here. But all these attacks, and the man's still gotten so much done. Our country, the morale of the country is so high. It's divisive. And to me, it's a division based on what America is and what people think it should be. And I think America is a beautiful place. I think it's the greatest land in the world. And I agree with the conservative values. I think that our country should have a smaller government. I think we should protect our borders. I think that we should look out for the American people and clean up our own backyard before we try to go around the world and police the world. I don't believe in all these wars. I just believe in that America. Some people believe that anyone from anywhere has the same right to come here and kill your children, and they won't be arrested. They won't be held to account. They can bring all their families and lower the wages in your neighborhood because this is America. And I don't believe that. Anyway, Rod Rosenstein, apparently this news from Axios was not true. He went down to the White House, and from what I understand now, for a pre-planned meeting, he went in place of Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, and to have a pre-planned meeting, I guess something they'd already planned and initiated. And so this was all more fake news. It was all news, gimmed up to get people excited, to create hysteria. And now, apparently, Rod Rosenstein and President Trump are going to have a meeting when President Trump gets back from his UN duties out in New York. He'll be back in Washington on Thursday. So they're going to meet on Thursday. And they're going to discuss the future of Rod Rosenstein's employment. Now, if you ask me, and I think there are many more Americans who believe what I do, we have some very loud Democrats in the Senate who are very loud and rambunctious about, don't remove Rod Rosenstein because you're going to jeopardize the Muller investigation. Well, apparently, when Rod Rosenstein was considering having a special counsel, it was right around the time that he had wanted to wiretap the president and leak to the media that the White House is in turmoil. So obviously, and he was only on the job at the time for 2 weeks. This guy is a scumbag. This dude should not be working in our government. He shouldn't be in such a high position of authority in our government. Jeff Sessions is a lame duck. He should be out. I can't wait until after the midterms. And yeah, that's where we are now. So hopefully this Thursday, and see, the thing is, they played it so well. The Axios story might have had some validity to it. I think that when you get a story like that, there's some truth dwindling within the smoke. But something I thought about is, if Rod Rosenstein were to step down, it would afford Donald Trump the ability to appoint someone in that position. And if he were to be fired, of course, that would be a red flag for the Democrats in the Senate, who want to pretend like this is a constitutional crisis for Donald Trump to do what he has every legal authority to do, especially when someone says they're going to wiretap him to slander his presidency. What don't these people get? What does these Kristen Gillibrands and Chuck Schumers and Adam Schiff's not understand about that? That if you have someone in your cabinet, someone under your administration in a very high position of authority who maliciously plans on undermining you, that you have the authority to get rid of them, to kick their ass out. How is that a constitutional crisis? It isn't. But there are so many people who are spoon-fed Anderson Cooper and Rachel Maddow that somehow, after all this proof of nothing exists, that somehow Trump is still working with Russia. I feel like I'm dealing with a bunch of children. That's why I feel like in the midterms, like the 2016 election, the adults have to show up. The kids are at home. They're having pillow fights. They're drinking alcohol. There's strawberries all over the floor. Okay? There's a bunch of people outside having sex. There's guys running through the house saying that they're women. A bunch of crazy stuff going on, and the adults are gone. We have to show up for the midterms. We have to take control of this country. Because if you look at what's going on with Judge Kavanaugh and the insanity on the left, if a person can just come out right now and say that you did something to them 35 years ago, and immediately you become, guilty in the eyes of supposedly mature adult actors in positions of leadership in the country. These people are supposed to be leaders in their community. They're supposed to be the one with tempered emotions. They're supposed to be the one to be able to categorically look at a situation and with critical thinking analyze it and say, well, that's really not what we do. We're America. This is where you're afforded the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. Why does that not exist when it's a Republican or someone being appointed by a Republican president for Supreme Court justice? How is Brett Kavanaugh guilty in the eyes of Kristen Gillibrand? How is he guilty? Kristen Gillibrand went on TV and said she's telling the truth. I believe her because she's telling the truth. You don't even know this lady. When you look at the allegations made by this woman about Brett Kavanaugh back in high school when she was 15, and let me just say this. My 15-year-old ain't going to be going nowhere where a bunch of guys are drinking and doing and fooling around and doing all this stuff. Obviously, her parents weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. And yeah, I'm there. I got 17-year-old sons who I watch like that because I'm a parent. Anyway, what are her allegations? The allegations were that they were at a party, which Brett Kavanaugh categorically denies ever being at, and he put his hand on her breast and covered her mouth and said, shh, 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 with his third hand. What the hell is happening here? It makes no sense. And everybody that she says is at the party, they've all come out now. Four people, including Brett Kavanaugh. Some of them said that they don't ever recall ever being at a party with Brett Kavanaugh. And the other individual said that they have no recollection of anything like this happening. We're all adults here. We're all adults here. How come our Constitution and our legal precedent goes out the window when it's a Democrat talking about a Republican? But Keith Ellison can beat the hell out of a woman, and she gets restraining orders and pictures and all this stuff, but you don't hear Chuck Schumer or Adam Schiff or Dianne Feinstein or Kirsten Gillibrand saying anything about him, when there's all this evidence of him actually doing it, and he's second in power at the DNC. But this woman accuses Brett Kavanaugh of a non-crime 35 years ago that he categorically denies, and he's guilty because she's telling the truth. And in my mind, adults hear a person say that and they go, "You're right, girl. She is telling the truth. What's wrong with you people? Are you serious? Are you serious? You people hear that and you say, that's my leader. Way to go, Kristen Gillibrand. If I was a Democrat and I heard that, I'd say, that doesn't make any damn sense. Show me some evidence. Now there's another person who went to Yale and said that he exposed himself at a drinking party to her. Another allegation. And I'm not saying that these women, that nothing's happened to them. I don't know Brett Kavanaugh. The only thing I got in common with him is we have the same damn name. It's the first name, not the last. But these are allegations that seem to be politically timed to do what? Now look, this will let you know something about the Democrats and their antics. These people are the most corrupt people in the United States. I swear they are the most corrupt. So now there's another unfounded allegation. An allegation is exactly what it says. It's an allegation. It's an alleged situation that may have happened, which usually requires some form of investigation. If the guy, first of all, if you're a college student, that's really different from being a high school kid. You're closer to you've been an adult now. You're living in the world. You're out on your own. You're highly educated. You go to Yale. One of the most premium colleges in the United States. Well, at least it used to be. Now they're just breeding people who go through shit and 35 years later remember. I don't know what's going on, but you're at Yale. You're learning law or learning whatever you're learning. Obviously, you got a higher education. You're able to converse. You know how to decompartmentalize situations and reformulate thought. And you can make a police report. You can call the police. You can report this to the dean. You can talk to the people who are your professors at college. Give me some corroborating evidence, not just some woman who says this happened. The guy has 35 years and I think 65 women from his past, from high school on, women who've dated him, women whose friends dated him, people who work with him, the people who intern for him. They all come out, all these women, and say the guy is upstanding. He's a good guy. And then you have two women with questionable motives. Blasey Ford, Miss Ford, Dr. Ford, she has extremely questionable motives. How come no one's talking about him? Blasey Ford's parents, their home was foreclosed on years ago by Brett Kavanaugh's mother, who was a judge at the time. Nobody sees those two dots and says, oh, this is questionable at least. No, she's right because she's telling the truth. What the hell's happening? Let me just say this. The Democrats hate President Trump so bad that they're willing to destroy our law. They're willing to destroy precedent. They're willing to destroy the Constitution to unseat him. Things that have never happened in the history of our country are happening right now under Democratic leadership. Now, unfounded sources, anonymous sources are, that's a first account now of a real story. There's no questionability now. You can't even question it. It's true if it's about Donald Trump. And these people are corrupt as hell. They'll do anything they can to stop his agenda, which is doing the country good. Our country is flourishing under this man. Why do you hate him so much, Democrats? We weren't doing this well when you guys had Obama. Huh? We weren't doing this well under Clinton. We weren't doing this well under Bush. Donald Trump is the best president of our lifetime. And what's happening now is a tragedy in our nation. And it blows my mind when I'm on Twitter and I see these fools trolling, Donald. Everything that he does are trolling him. Every person who works for him is getting trolled. I'm like, how are you even upset when we're doing so much better right now? I'm a real man. I'm not a partisan. You know what makes me a partisan? The same thing that's going to make Brett Kavanaugh a partisan. When I see you fucks, you Democrats, doing this kind of shit. You think Brett Kavanaugh's, if he gets put in as Supreme Court justice, you think he's not going to remember this shit? You think for a second he's not going to remember what you Democrats try to do to him? The lasting ramifications of this on his life? You think he's not going to remember that? Even if he doesn't get confirmed, you think he's not going to do everything he can to fight the Democrats from today on? I never hated the leadership of Democrats until 2016. I I loathe these people. They're liars. They're corrupt. Adam Schiff, corrupt. Dianne Feinstein. If you really cared about Miss Ford, you would have been investigating her claim when you got the damn letter. You wouldn't have waited until after confirmation, until it's time to go through with the confirmation to release this information like a bombshell to try to push back his nomination. Now we got, I forget who it was. I was watching the news. Somebody did say that, all that's going to happen now with us postponing this and giving her more time is there's going to be another person pop up. Lo and behold, there's a new person popped up with another unfounded claim from Yale. I went to Yale. A guy exposed himself to me. I didn't tell anybody until now, until he almost becomes Supreme Court Justice. You could have told everybody that. You're in college. Girls are, what are the chances of that shit? You people are evil. To me, that's the truth. You've got to be an evil soul to see a man who, by all standpoints, from what it looks like, I'm not saying it's necessarily true that this guy is, super above the board and top pedigree and that he would never, ever, ever look at a piece of ass, because men do things like that, but this guy seems different. You see him sitting there during his confirmation, being attacked by Camel Face Harris, being attacked by Cory Bug-Eyed Booker, being attacked by these people like he's done something wrong. And then you see them lying on the man, putting out commercials, besmirching his character, and flipping words around to make it seem like he said things that he didn't. Spartacus, my ass. I hate you people. I didn't used to be that way, but you know what? When you start to see what a person's all about, you have to stand for something. I don't think I've ever felt this passionate about politics in my life. You people are corrupt. Everything about you people is corrupt, from Hillary Clinton on fucking down. Barack Obama on down. You're corrupt people. You want to help the people who hurt this country, and you want to hurt your own fucking people. It's just sick. And I'm sorry I get so fed up with it, but I am. I'm just fed up of watching the lies. This guy's in front of his 2 fucking daughters, and you're trying to destroy his life because he was selected by Donald Trump for Supreme Court Justice, because you think he's going to roll back Roe versus Wade because abortions matter that much. Well, they might matter, but look at the guy knows the law. He's not going to interpret the Constitution. He's going to see it as it was written, the way that you should do in the Supreme Court. In all his history, 6 FBI investigations, nothing. But you guys will go out and look to the ends of the earth to find someone willing to take money or take whatever it is you guys are offering these scumbags for him to go out and besmirch his character and try to destroy his family and destroy the job he currently has and destroy the bond he has with his wife. You guys are evil fucking people. And the problem is, Republicans aren't evil. Well, some of them probably are. I think that, we got some Republicans and questionable people in the Republican Congress who are low-key Democrats, who they've shown signs of corruption to me, trying to undermine Trump's agenda. You know what I'm saying? But they're not mean enough. Chuck Grassley will let these women come forward and say their piece. But that's not good enough. Okay, you don't want to come, to Congress, to the committee? We'll send someone to you. I don't want to do that. Okay, well, when would you like to come? I don't want to fly. But she worked in Hawaii. She interned over in Hawaii. So how did she get there? She flew, right? These people are liars. And you see what happened now. Now that this second complaint has hit the mass market, Dianne Feinstein writes a letter to the committee saying we need to postpone Thursday's meeting. Confirm Kavanaugh now. Confirm him now. That's all they care about. All they want to do is stop this damn agenda. They want to put some liberal judge in there who will destroy the Constitution. They don't care about your rights. They care about your right to kill a child, but they don't care about your right to protect one. They don't care about your right to have your gun to protect your children. And pretty soon they'll probably be coming after your First Amendment rights. These people are corrupt. They swear an oath to the Constitution, but right in the face of everyone, defy it. You can't get a better judge than Brett Kavanaugh. I watched the entire confirmation hearing. I know what this guy's all about. I know who he was. But I watched him, I was listening to him, and he was quoting past precedent and talking about cases, and he knew all this information about the Constitution, and they were trying to slip him up, but he was too good for them. Confirm Kavanaugh now. Stop this damn charade, please. I understand that, Republicans, you guys, we are good people. A lot of us are. And they'll try to say that Republicans are all neo-Nazis and they hate America and they just want, an Aryan brotherhood. Do I look like that to you? I'm an American man with an American family with American dreams, and I don't want to see these people destroy it. We have a president that was duly elected by the people. And you got these fools in Congress like Maxine Waters talking about impeaching. Oh, don't worry about Pence, one at a time. Who is electing these fools? That's what you think the law is? There is a hierarchy here. There's a chain of command. Donald Trump's at the top. You Democrats and Republicans who think that your word is more? No, it's not. He's the fucking president. Give him the respect that the people voted him to have. We voted him in. And for all you people who say, well, he didn't get the, majority vote. Majority doesn't win presidencies. Sorry. If we had a street vote right now on, let's say we were voting for our community, something that they were going to build, and they had to vote on my street. My house doesn't get more points because I got more kids than everybody else. Everybody has a say, okay? I don't care if there's 20 people living in my house, and you got 2. You're a part of the community. You have a fucking say. I don't care if it's Maine versus California. Everybody has a say. And just because you can create these liberal cesspools like California that are falling apart, that are in huge debt, where you got needles in the middle of the street and crackheads running up and down and people shooting up behind businesses and just drugs and illegal immigration galore, doesn't mean you get, a say over the small middle American states. It doesn't work that way. That's why there's an electoral college, and that's why Donald Trump won that in a landslide. Because a majority of American states believed in his message and believed in what he's saying. But back to the main point. I guess I talked about it a lot. Rosenstein should be out. Rosenstein should step down and do the honorable thing. Because I don't think that you can say what he said. I don't think that you can have those kind of conversations where you're considering a deep state coup of cabinet members to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove the president because you feel like he's inadequate for the job or not suited to lead the country, even though the people voted for him. If you have those thoughts at all, and you're in a position of authority in our Department of Justice, you need to get the hell out. We see him. We see people like Jeff Sessions who came out and said, I'm not going to touch anything Hillary Clinton. Why? She broke the law. She broke the damn law. How come no one's talking about her in Russian collusion when she paid Russians to create the fake dossier? I see a double standard of justice here. There's a huge double standard. How come we got Bruce Orr in the Department of Justice working with Christopher Steele? What's going on here? I mean, did Democrats not see this? You're supposed to be good people. At least you try to virtue signal that you are. I'm a Democrat. I'm above this stuff. Everyone's equal. Where are you at on that shit? How come I never hear any of you say anything about that? That Hillary Clinton paid Perkins Coie, who paid Christopher Steele, who paid Fusion GPS, who paid Christopher Steele to pay Russians for fake information. That's not Russian collusion to sway or impact an election? Hell yeah, it is. But you guys are liars. You guys are corrupt. And you can't bring yourself to admit the damn truth. Donald Trump isn't guilty of any of this shit. He won fair and square. He's a good president. He's leading our country in the right direction. These people are getting exposed. Rosenstein, you need to go. Sessions, you're going after the midterms. I know there's a lot of talk. And I laugh at work. I'm at my office and I got, the news playing, coming through my Galaxy S9. And I hear, the Democrat morale, we're so excited for the 2018 midterms. It's going to be a blue wave. That sounds very similar to what was said in 2016. when, these pollsters had Donald Trump, he has maybe a 15% chance of doing this. Even if he wins all the states that are possible states, he still won't have enough to win. You guys know you're in trouble. You can't do all this corrupt shit and think that America's not going to see it. The loudest people on Twitter and on Facebook and on social media are the ones who are partisan, who say no matter what happens, protect Muller. Even though Muller hasn't found nothing, protect him, protect him. Even though RodRosenstein is corrupt and said he wants Donald Trump to be out as president and he hired Muller to do that, protect him. You guys protect Hillary Clinton too. You guys will say anything about her corruption. You guys are corrupt as hell. And that's all I got for you guys today. I hope everybody's doing well. Consider, guys, if you like the video, you like the content, you like the rant, give a thumbs up, show some appreciation, show some love for the Republic channel. And remember, we do this for the Republic.